Welcome back to the Battery Podcast. I'm Aidan,
And I'm Casey.
and we're here to recap the I'll call it frustrating but somewhat encouraging game that the Cannons had with the Outlaws down in Fairfield this weekend. They lose 18 to 17 in a final score that should not have been that. We'll get into that, but I guess Casey, what are your initial thoughts from the game, or like biggest stories, takeaways that you had from it?
So, initial thoughts I would definitely say are, we were like, we were really sad last podcast episode,
Yeah.
um, talking about how this might be, the hardest matchup for us. But I mean, we showed up
Yeah,
and we showed out. And this is the Cannons team we know and love. And
absolutely.
yes, we did lose by one, even though we shouldn't have. But um, I mean, the Outlaws are the hottest
Yeah.
team in the league, and they're young, they're fresh, they're quick, and I thought we did a really good job.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think let's just not beat around the bush anymore. So, the reason the score shouldn't have been what it was, Jared Bernhardt with definitely one, possibly also two goals where his foot was in the crease. The first one, which is his first goal of the game, about halfway through the first quarter, coach challenges it. There isn't a great angle on it. It looked like his foot was on the line, but I couldn't quite tell for sure. Clearly, Matt Palin agreed. Call stands. And then there's another goal that Bernhard gets called back because clearly half of his foot was in the crease. Holman throws a flag immediately. It's wiped off. Great. Um, but then fourth quarter to I believe this goal tied the game. Let me look exactly at when the scoring happened. Um, oh, I got the yeah. So it brought them to yeah, tied the game, and they took the lead, and then the Cannons took the lead by one with a two. Yeah, all right. So yeah, it tied the game. The first goal of the fourth quarter. Bernhardt's foot is clearly in the crease. Holman, like they show the replay as they do for every goal. Holman watches it, throws the flag. Everyone in the stands is yelling. But the Cannons don't have another challenge because they lost one in the first quarter. And so apparently we don't review it. We can't review it, even though you can review, like we have a system for changing twos into ones or vice versa. When it's close, they wait, they look at it during a commercial break. Um, I get that's a little bit different because the goal is scored, or you're just changing the point value versus a goal or not a goal. It changes the flow of the game. Do we have a face off or a clear for the Cannons? But like this is something the UFL did so right is the ability when there's something the refs got obviously wrong to just be able to fix it right away. Um, like that's something everyone in the stadium knows it's wrong. Matt Palin and Seth Tierney know it's wrong, but we don't have it. Like we're gonna watch the goal one or two times because that's just how replay works. There's that 30 or so seconds in between the goal and the next face off. Like just watch it twice, and if you don't see anything, we keep the play moving. If like Bernhardt, his foot was clearly in the crease, or um, some other reason that the goal shouldn't count, then take it off the board. Um,
Right.
and the same thing happened in the national championship semifinals in college a couple of years ago, where Garrett Ledman's foot clearly in the crease. It's the OT winner for Duke, but there's no college replay at the time. And wouldn't you know it, replay for college lacrosse gets instituted for next season, so that something like that can't happen again. Um,
That's crazy.
I know. If I were the Penn State coach, I don't know how I would have even been able to get my guys to go like shake the other team's hand because like you don't know you would have won, right? Like Penn State has to clear it. Maybe they score on that, maybe they don't, but like should be so clearly denied. No,
Mhm.
of course, they had a chance to win the game in overtime, whatever. And like, could the Cannons still have won this game even with these two calls? Like the one for sure and the other one iffy, not going their way. Yes, they could have won. Still, despite that, but
Yeah, Holman, coach brought it up in the press conference. I know you were at the games. Did you get to go to any of the press conferences at all?
yes, yeah. If you listened, you
Okay.
should have heard me ask a question in there as well.
Oh,
For
I was actually looking to see if I heard you.
yeah,
Um, well, I mean, since you were there, he brings it up and he mentions like, doesn't necessarily mean that we would have won, but let's face it, we would have at least been tied
Yeah.
and we probably would have gone into overtime. So, yeah, that's
Yeah.
frustrating.
I would say, and this is another broader point, that the refs did not have their best day. I think we kind of thought this was going to be a chippier game. And Pat Cav
It,
to start with is a guy who plays really hard, and he had extra reason to want to win this game. The Cannons as a team are a team that plays really hard and physical. I mean, when you sign guys like Garrett Epple, that comes with a certain number of unnecessary roughness penalties per year. And coach said this as well in the press conference that he thought this was the softest team he's had in the 3 years, but he knows that identity is tough. And he's like, we're gonna take a penalty, we might as well like earn that penalty, right? It's like if we're getting 1 minute first slash, whether we just nick the guy or whether we really, make him feel it. Um,
yeah.
but
But
the
we are the leading team in the league for having the most penalties.
Yeah, I get that identity, and I certainly don't mind a team that plays hard, but I think
Sure.
they've also been the most penalized team in
Hmm.
just 3 years, which
Listen,
I
be the most penalized team and win.
yeah, or have the best
But
penalty kill, right? Like if
true.
they give up 5 penalties, but they don't give up any penalty like power play goals, then oh well. It's minutes where you're not scoring, but at least the change isn't happening. And I think 4 out of 5 or something like these, they did score. Let me just check the stats page here just for the penalty stats. You do not have that on the jeez. Um, that's really you got to have that readily available. Um, Power play. Yeah, so first quarter was 1 penalty on the Cannons. Second quarter, no penalties on the Cannons. Third quarter, 3 penalties on the Cannons, and then fourth quarter, two. So, um, or no, one. Yeah. So 5 of them, and they lead to goals. Um, Yeah, it's tough, and I think the inconsistency on some of the level of calls, like we had some plays get looked at and upgraded or not. Like Logan Wisnauskas had a pretty bad hit to the head on Ethan Rawl. Um,
Yeah.
Mike Manley
He
had
cheated.
a bad late hit on um, Connor Kirst, um,
Yeah.
and
It didn't, I will say, I mean, let's face it, Manly's in almost like every fight that happens every week.
mhm,
Um, but when I was watching it, it didn't actually seem like he was really trying to go above, and beyond. But
yeah,
Kirst did unfortunately walk away with a concussion. I
yeah.
think that's what they ended up.
Oh, because I believe he did come back into the game. He did.
So
Oh yeah, yeah.
go ahead. I think Dana Boyle had given an update um in the second half and said that he wasn't going to be going back in
Okay.
because he did have a concussion.
All right. I saw him because we were sitting pretty close to the bench. His
Hmm.
mom came running down after, and that's where you just feel awful, right? Like her kid's lying on the field, and then
Yeah.
the tent was there too. She tried to get, but he said he was okay. So, but I mean, of course, the pro athlete's going to say he's okay, especially to his mom. Doesn't want her to worry. Um,
Right.
so that, I mean, that, yeah, that sucks. So obviously he had probably his best game of the season. And you never,
Yeah.
particularly head injuries, like they can linger in such weird ways and have really long lasting impacts. So
Hmm.
we hope he's okay. We saw TD take one in the Redwoods game as well, and that kind of
Yeah.
swung that game potentially. Um, so
Hmm.
yeah, we hope Connor's okay, and yeah, whoever slots into the lineup in his place, um, that they do well. But it's what I wanted to return to initially was you
Mm.
had a number of these hits, and it seemed pretty inconsistent how they were dealt with and assessed the amount of penalty time. Excuse me, the amount of penalty time. Um, because Manly gets no, that doesn't get upgraded. Um, and then Bryce Young's uh, penalty gets
Hmm
2 minutes locked in, and yeah, the Cannons kill it off, but then Jared Bernhardt scores pretty much immediately afterward. That's obviously, and the Cannons are trailing the game. That's 2 minutes where they're basically not able to score or not, not going to try very hard to score because they don't want to risk that transition the other way. And it just didn't look as bad. You can't just assess penalties based on injury or impact there, but like if a guy has the ball or immediately after he releases the ball, especially if he's running right down the middle of the field, like he's got to expect some contact there. And yeah, don't love that. That kind of sealed it for the Cannons.
hmm
But I understand it's a fast-paced game, and to expect the guys to be perfect is not
Right.
realistic. I mean, certainly my biggest gripe in the officiating was just that blatant foot in the crease for Bernhardt. Um, and props to
Yeah.
him. He also had a great game, foot's, you know, crease issues aside, um, as did Pat.
Yeah.
So, his revenge game, he said in the conference, like you try to make it just any other game, but he said he'd be lying if he didn't have that circled. I think you could. I mean, he's a guy who always plays hard, but he was very exuberant, celebratory after every point, and he did have, I believe, he finished with 5 points on the day. Let me confirm that. Yeah, he and Dalton Young actually tied for the leading score with 2 goals, 3 assists each. Um, yeah, they're. I mean, their big guns came to play.
hmm
Vasquez definitely feels like I guess, kind of a tier below some of those other three, just in terms of how they're able to take over a game. Like Bernhardt's just faster than everyone. O'Neill's bigger and stronger than everyone, and I mean Kavanaugh is just so determined and shifty, uh,
hmm
and gritty. So yeah, they're fantastic team, but
Yeah.
they earned it. Let's go back to when we had a very new face on the Cannons, and then we had a face we hadn't seen in a while. What
hmm
do you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about Jules.
Yeah, yeah. So signed, I think like 9 or 10 days ago at this point. Didn't play that week immediately after getting signed. Understand that, want a little bit more time to get familiar with the people in the crew, but makes his debut yesterday, or yesterday as we're recording this. And what a debut it was. I think I really loved what he brought to the offense. I mean, you saw his assist, inverting at X, and just he draws so much more attention than whoever else because he started as an X attackman as well. He's two-handed, that he can get to the goal for himself or he can feed, just like any good X attackman can. Um, and then the 2 point range. Who knew? I jokingly, that was my question I asked Coach, just what he thought about his performance and if he knew he had that 2 point range when he signed him. Uh, and no, I don't think anyone did, probably including Jules himself. I would love to ask him. I wish he had been in there to ask him like what his thought process was, like if he'd
Just
practiced
rip
that
it.
at all. I know, because like because it was high to high. Like I assumed just based on how the day has gone and just the general success of 2 point goals that it was going to be a high bouncer, but no, it's straight just 100 miles an hour, whatever it was, right into the top corner. And I think he might not be able to get away with that again because you could see in the replay the defense wasn't really sliding to him. I'm sure McNaney's squared up for a shot, but you're just really not expecting Jules to pull up and shoot from there, and you're certainly not
hmm
expecting him to land it. So really happy for him. That was a huge momentum moment of the game because I think the Cannons were down by 3 at the time, and that brought them to down by 1.
Yeah.
Um,
Welcome to the team, Jules.
yeah, absolutely. The Boston, and yeah, and that's another thing. Boston two party continues, right? He gets one, Holman gets one, and Connor Kirst gets one, which each of those were huge because the first goal of
hmm
the game was unfortunately a 2 pointer by Jake Bassino. We might have jinxed Colin talking about how good he is at stopping twos all these times. But at least there weren't any more in the game.
hmm
So yeah, the I love that that's a part of our offense. I think Campbell was looking for a few of them as well. They just didn't fall, and Marcus it seemed was really hunting them. Um,
He was working to hit that 355.
yeah, yeah. So that's another Marcus. Yeah, ties Paul Rabel for second most goals all time, 355. Doesn't take the 2 pointers into account though; they don't count any more or less than the ones. And he's I think 38 now behind John Grant Jr. So I would say almost definitely not getting there this year. He's got 10 goals on the year, but Junior did it. They had it on the website. Did it in 15 seasons. So if Marcus does want to keep playing a couple more years, he's got a good chance to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, hey, I meant to bring this up last episode, but um I wasn't really sure 100% or not, but last game it looked like our friend Jeff Trainer was missing something.
yeah.
Could you
I wasn't.
confirm this?
Yeah, I wasn't sure when it happened. 'Cause I just noticed it one day, or yeah, one game. I think is it in his team photo for this year? Let me check the
Has it
website.
been the whole season?
I'm not sure. Let let's see if we can pull that up. Because he scored. But yeah, so Jeff Trainer's missing a front tooth. Uh, which
Just
I
makes his smile that much better,
Yeah, I know. Come
honestly.
on, the missing tooth and the giant beard really makes
Yeah.
him look like
The
a, I don't know,
bald head.
prospector in the 1800s, or like I don't know, not someone who's a professional lacrosse player. All right, his mouth is closed in his team photo, so we can't know.
Mm,
Um, but so this was another story that I'd wanted to tell because it was just a great coincidence. So, I was staying with my friend who lives outside New Haven. We both went to the games, and so he was working. I was just hanging out in downtown New Haven, and I needed to find a bathroom. So I walked into a hotel, and it turned out to be the hotel that all the players were staying in. I see, oh, some athletic guys in their 20s with equipment bags. Wouldn't that be funny? And then I see a PLL logo on a t-shirt, and then I see Adam Gittleman and Asher Nolting and
oh
Matt
my
Brandon. I'm
gosh.
like, oh my God. And then Jeff was on the phone later, a little further back in the lobby. So when he hung up, we chatted for a minute, and he said that it was at a clinic that he was coaching. He's wearing a box helmet, and I don't remember
Mm,
exactly how he said it happened, but either something came up and hit him, or just the helmet got pushed into his face. So when we see him next summer, it should be fixed, he said, but it's a long process to get repaired, and
mm.
uh, not going to do that mid-season. It would probably just come out again. So
I mean, honestly, we know someone that he could probably call to get it fixed quickly and really well. Our guy, Derek White,
absolutely,
because
yeah.
he got half of it knocked out during one game, and it seems like 2 days later, it was good as new again.
Yeah, that I wonder. It's got to be different with a chip versus a whole tooth. But I mean,
Oh, it's his whole tooth.
yeah, oh, I know for Jeff it's his whole tooth. Um, yeah,
Dang. Oh man.
I know. He
Oh,
he started explaining. I don't know. I think most people think dentistry's kind of gross, and I don't. We don't need to air that on for him. But
you
um,
know what? I think it just adds a little bit more grit to the team.
oh, for sure. Like if anyone's gonna be missing a tooth, it should be a short stick D mid for sure. Kind of weird that Alex Ovechkin, being the goal scorer that he is, got the missing tooth. Really feels like a defenseman thing. But I feel like hockey players, what with the no face mask, whenever the missing tooth is a little bit more standard for them.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh, that's so cool that you ran into them though. That would
yeah,
be awesome. I would be like so surprised I probably wouldn't know what to say.
no, I didn't either because like a bunch of them are checking in, and like I don't want to just like I don't know
Right.
flag them down, but I did see because my friend is a Yale fan. Obviously because he's from New Haven. So
Mhm.
Matt Brandau was in there. I got him to sign a card for my friend, and then I saw Colin Kirst. He was as polite as ever.
Oh,
And then
Kirsty.
yeah, like a block away, I saw his brother Cole, who is equally
Oh,
nice. Um,
of course.
yeah, so I got him to sign a card for the Lost in the Woods podcast guy. So I'll send that over to him and managed to see another couple players just in the course of the day. Oh, and I saw Carter Parlett. That was really,
Oh,
and he honestly he seemed like as excited to see me as I was to see him.
oh,
Uh,
I love that.
yeah, he unfortunately was not playing, but he was on the protected roster, so he was there. And yeah, it was cool. We chatted for a couple minutes. Just about, I just said that I was really happy to see him finally get a shot. Asked him about that legendary chirp he had down in Champ Series. Uh, yeah. So cool to see him. Hope he does well. And then as we were talking, like seven Denver Outlaws, including Pat Cavanaugh and Brennan O'Neill, and I think Justin Anderson and Graham Bundy, and I didn't see exactly who else were walking by. Didn't want to, just abandon Carter to try to get all of their autographs for some Rough Rider people. So sorry, Denver
Yeah.
guys. I do not have any Brennan O'Neill autographs to send to you, but I'm sure he will sign oodles of them when they're in Denver in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just
Well,
I
that's
talked
good.
to a good number of players, obviously press conferences, and then
Hmm.
just other interactions because I was around the field so much, and everyone was so kind. Like I saw Levi Anderson, we were both leaving the stadium at the same time, and like I flagged him down to I'm going to send that to the Whipsnakes tomorrow, and he's like, "No, I'm Levi. Nice to meet you." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know you're Levi. Like I'm asking for your autograph. I know who you are."
I love that though, because that to me just shows me that he's humble,
Yeah,
right? And he's a, granted, he's a pro athlete, but like they're still people.
yeah. Um,
So I
yeah,
I
and so
like that.
so approachable. Also, as we were walking into the stadium, like who was it? Colin Heacock and Brendan Krebs and someone else who I don't remember. We're just like walking in the regular entrance with us. Like they were walking past the autograph alley from the first game that ended to try to get into the locker room for them, and I'm like, oh, these poor kids, they have no idea what they're missing out on.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But it's so cool how accessible they are and how polite everyone is. Yeah, I talked
Yeah.
to him Heacock and Colin Anderson after or Justin Anderson. Nope, Levi Anderson. Colin Heacock, Levi Anderson after the game. They were both really, really nice. So we'll send that down to the snake pit. Um,
Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome. Wow, you had a very successful weekend.
I did. Yeah. Yeah. So we got and of course I got some Canon player autographs as well. I got some for Campbell, Drenner, Colin, as I said already. So look for us at homecoming, and we'll be happy to hand those out to whoever asks, basically.
Yes. Yeah. Which
Yeah.
is only a couple weeks away,
Yeah,
really.
it really is sneaking up on me. It's the bye week and then Denver and then homecoming.
I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited but worried, right? Because the team is not doing well. Where that game against the Whips is probably going to decide who goes to the playoffs and who doesn't, just based on records so far. So I'm nervous. But I will say, returning back to this most recent game,
Hmm.
um, this performance gave me a lot of hope. Um,
Yeah, same.
yeah, like as you said, if that Bernhardt goal gets called back, maybe the Cannons win. Maybe they still don't, but either way, like putting up 17, and I believe giving Logan McNeely by far his lowest save percentage as a pro. Um,
Mm,
he was below 50% in this game. So
mm,
there were concerns on both ends of the ball, I think, and the offensive ones I feel better about. We haven't talked about Manny yet. Um, he still looks good, man. I don't know if it's just the chemistry that he and Marcus have, or just the reputation as a goal
hmm
scorer. I mean, he had that sick behind the back goal off a cut. I think he just finished with one goal. Yes, one goal.
hmm
Um, but I don't know. It's just his presence. Like I think you just can't discount that experience. So it's a bummer
Yeah.
that the Cannons aren't playing in what's now his kind of hometown of Salt Lake City. But I don't know. I kind of would love to see him back in the lineup for Denver. And then, I mean, it feels like you got to put him in one of the games for homecoming, right?
He's got to be at homecoming.
Yeah,
Come on.
I know.
Yeah.
And they better have his jersey for sale too. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. Will the kids want a Will Manning jersey, or is that really for people like in their 20s and up
Right.
who went to Will Manning to see Will Manning play when they were a kid? Um,
Mm,
I don't know. I mean, yeah, you hope they have some extra Boston jerseys for sale because it's our weekend. I think they usually do for homecoming. I don't remember exactly how it was last year, but I think so.
yeah.
Um, yeah, let's see. What other points did I want to talk about? Not
Campbell had 3 goals.
yeah, I think so. Three ones.
Hmm. So
Um,
no two bombs, but
no.
still
He
awesome.
was looking. I mean, they had this one amazing goal where I think it was a pick that he got doubled quick, and then of course one guy's got to go off. Both his defenders just peeled off at the same time, and were
Well,
looking away. So Campbell's like, I mean, okay, and it's like hitches in, and yeah, he's like he could shoot 112 miles an hour. If you let him shoot from like 8 yards away, it's gonna go in the net.
right.
Um, yeah,
One thing
he's
we have.
yeah.
Oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, you.
Well, I'm gonna change the subject. So,
I was just gonna say he had a great game.
okay. Yes, he did. Yeah. Sorry. Um, we haven't talked about Tucci
Yeah.
and Face
Uh,
Off.
yeah, which was a low point. Well, I mean, there were a couple of low points. I mean, I still don't feel great about the defense, but yeah, so 9 of 29, 31%. And if we look at what he's at for the season, I mean, I would say it's comfortably below 50 here before I have it officially pulled up. Um, yeah, 43.2 on the year. Um, I mean,
Why do you think it is that we haven't? I mean, he had similar. Did he put up similar numbers last season?
I'm pretty sure
Would
he
you
did.
say?
Uh, yeah, 2024, he went 47.8 last year. With 4 points, two 1 point goals and a 2 point goal. This year, 1-1 and 1-2. So the numbers have dipped a little bit, but I mean, if we look by game, uh, he's above 50% once and at 50% once, and that was against um, Inacio, I guess, or no, against Attica, sorry, and then the game he was at 50% was against the Archers and Sisselberger, who, as we now know, was playing with an injury for the whole year.
Yeah.
Um, And
Hmm.
the other games, he's at 36, 44, 44, 40, 46, and 31. Um, I do think, you don't always need, the PLL with
Right.
this 32-second shot clock, like, you don't always want to win the faceoff. I think there are times where it can hurt you. But I think at the end of this game, like, for example, the Cannons are down by one with a minute to go. Brian Holman calls his timeout before the faceoff because they just don't have enough confidence in Tucci that they're going to win it, and so they need the plan for if they lose it. And that's never like, the Outlaws don't feel that way. The Atlas and the Whip Snakes certainly don't feel that way. I think the Redwoods don't feel that way with TD. And TD, we can mention that a little
Hmm.
later. Probably certainly the best game of his season. It's unfortunate it was cut short.
Yeah.
So just if I agree. You don't need to win every faceoff. You don't even always need to go 50-50. But if you don't have confidence in your guy in a late game situation, it's really hard to win a lacrosse game. And I don't know if they don't want to upset the dynamic of the locker room, or if they don't like, maybe just really they don't feel there's anyone better available. Petey LaSala had that one season for the Whips because Nardello tore his ACL and then hasn't played since. Or I think he played the first game back and then Joe took over after that. He's probably the best option who's still out there, unless some
Mm.
guy wants to come down from Canada. But I would look at, it's too soon to be thinking about the draft, but I'm certainly going to be looking at face-off guys
Right.
waiting next spring
Yeah.
because it's a place for sure that the Cannons can upgrade. Now, Tucci's a great athlete, and he also didn't commit any penalties this game, which was also good because that's been an issue of his as well. Um, yeah, four penalties in 7 games when you're 43% on the year is really uh,
Yeah.
not a good
Not
recipe for
ideal.
success. Um, so yeah, he's got some things to figure out, as do they all. I think I wound up sitting behind his dad at the game, which was very funny because at the start of it, he said, "Oh, because I was wearing my Indigenous Vardaro jersey," and he said, "Oh, my son loves Vardaro; it's his favorite player." And I'm just assuming that he's a guy, like, just his son is a person who likes the Cannons, and
Yeah.
then became very clear because they were only ever saying stuff about Zach Tucci, the whole, like, him and the whole, like, family that he was with.
Oh,
Um,
that's funny.
yeah, so and he acknowledged them in the stands as well.
I wonder if they're like if him and Verdaro are like pretty good friends.
Yeah, I would think so. And yeah, you never know who winds up becoming kind of close. Hopefully, everyone likes each other, but who
Yeah.
becomes like really good friends in the locker room? Because of course, you're not going to
Hmm.
like all 20 whatever guys equally, um,
Yeah.
which is not yeah not a bad thing or a problem. Because I'm sure you could
Hmm.
say that in any group of people, 20 and
Right.
above. If-
Yeah.
yeah. But I think it was interesting to see Tucci kind of take himself out of faceoffs a couple times. Or I saw after goals he basically like wave or to the dot or point to Connor Kirst or something because Kirst took 5 faceoffs, went 3 for 5, and then Goodrich was 0 for 1. So that was interesting to see him. Maybe he just needed a breather, right?
Mm.
Or needed a or just they wanted to shake up looks. I'd definitely be interested in asking him or asking coach about that. Um,
Yeah, because you usually don't see him do that.
right. Yeah. Because I mean that's his job, right? If he can't do that. I mean Connor Kirst does that as well. But of course the more faceoffs he takes, the less shifts he can run on offense and defense and
Hmm.
having him on the wings, like really when you see it out there and particularly when you're on the field, like my ULEX season, which is obviously way, 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 way below this, but like faceoffs are a battle. It's tough to go in there and get a
Hmm.
ground ball.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, those guys go through a lot. I mean, everyone does on the field in different ways, but just to be out there, like it's not all on you, but it's mostly on you to win that ball. And yeah, it's tough. Um,
Hmm.
all right. I think any other points? I mean, I think I just wanted to acknowledge Drenner being Drenner again. Uh,
Yeah.
not to say that he wasn't ever not for any amount of time, but
Hmm.
was it? Yeah, 3 goals for Drenner.
Hmm.
Just still so consistent. He feels like he's a lock for every lineup that he's in. Kind of a miracle that he got well, I guess not that much, but that he was let go by the Whips. He was left unprotected, and I mean, it makes sense that he was taken by the Water Dogs. Um, and then I think the Cannons did a um, dispersal draft, or yeah, there was an entry draft for the Cannons when they merged the MLL and PLL. So glad we got him in that. Just not a pickup that I thought too much of at the time, but
Mm.
now that I've watched every game that he's played since that trade, and just such a ultimate like professional shooter,
Hmm.
two-handed like dodging and scoring threat, off ball, on ball. He does it all. But I
Yeah.
hope like if Jules can be another one of those in the offense, like what a huge success. Just let Nolting dodge, let Campbell dodge, maybe yeah, McKelly. They can initiate the dodge themselves some of the time. Like either of them can invert. They get a short stick, take them back to the cage because you figure Matt Campbell's still getting the pole most of the time. Excuse me. Um, yeah, just love having him out there.
Hmm.
Hope he and Jules can play together beautifully. I mean, if they both
Yeah,
keep having games like they did today or
mhm.
yesterday, Saturday, whatever it was.
I think I saw Jules had put something on social media about, I thought it was Drenner, that kind of implied that they like they're friends and they like have like some sort of history. I think he called him Roomy or something like that. And it just definitely seemed like they had played together, they know each other. There definitely is like good vibes there. So I mean, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, and I didn't know all of that about how we got Drenner.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I think they would have. I just looked up Jules because, yes, Jules' first season was with the Florida Launch in the MLL, where Ryan Drenner also played. So
Oh,
theoretically, they've
okay.
known each other and been friends since then. So, sorry, throat's really dry. Theoretically, they've been friends since then. And yeah. Um,
You
yeah.
were yelling all weekend?
Yes, I was. I really let Matt Paleb and Seth Tierney have it in that second
As
half.
you should.
Yep. And what's his name? Manley and Wisnauskas too after those penalties.
Yeah.
And as well being excited for our guys, right? Like that when Henningberg hit that two, and I mean any of
Yeah.
those twos, and Trainer got on the board twice. We didn't mention him, or
I
one of his
know,
twos, but we didn't
twice.
mention his performance.
Just the missing tooth.
Yeah, but 2 goals as well. And one of them, that fluky play, Holman, I think, shot a two and got like blocked, deflected, and just right to Trainer, like cutting in front of the crease, who just picks it up and dunks it. I was not a play you could draw up, but it worked well. And you see that
Yeah.
offensive prowess that he still has. We love having him on the defensive end, but I would say, yeah. So concerning game, biggest concern because the Whipsnakes won, the Cannons are out of the playoffs. The defense still has a lot of question marks, but the offense answered a lot. I think if Drenner, Campbell, um, Connor Kirst, I'll say even Asher Nolting, 4 assists, and
Hmm.
Jules play like this regularly, and then you just get, a couple more stops. Or Colin Kirst was still left out to dry for a lot of a lot of those goals from the Outlaws. Um,
Hmm.
that I feel
Yeah.
encouraged, um, and particularly with how the Water Dogs just were shut down in the second half of their game against Maryland. It was 4 goals by Sowers early, and then it kind of felt like they didn't score again. The final score was 10-7 Maryland.
Mm.
Uh, so the Dogs have a
Do
game in
we?
between. Obviously, the Cans are off, but I don't feel as worried about that game now as I did before this game against the Outlaws. Still not
Mhm.
great because the Cannons basically they have to win more games than Maryland does for the rest of the year. And unfortunately, the Cannons are playing Maryland to finish it off, but you just
Mm.
gotta win. I mean, you just gotta win basically
Yeah.
as many as you can.
Do we want to roll into the Philly Maryland game, or do we still have anything left that we want to talk about?
I think
The
we pretty
Cannons.
much covered this one.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, Philly, Maryland. It was so weird because it looks like Sowers just starts on such a heater, and then it's I think 5-2 at the half. Like it really slows down. And what Stagg said in the press conference is they didn't do anything different after that point, but they just started doing their plan better.
Mm.
And I see that. And then so they obviously tie it up, I think 6-6, and then Brandow scores the last 4 games, 4 goals in a row for Maryland.
Wow.
Yeah. And then a Water Dogs goal to make it look a little bit more respectable. So Maryland, unfortunately, that puts their goal differential up to +8, and the Cannons are now -6. So
Yeah.
expecting that to kind of even out um, is not super realistic. I mean, obviously, hope the Cannons win by a lot and the Whipsnakes lose by a lot um, in their other games, and then yeah, Cannons just got to beat them in the last game. But
Hmm.
the way that Water Dogs offense disappeared um, was baffling, and I think we'd also be remiss if we didn't mention the debut of CJ Kirst, who I don't know, I think they struggled to figure out what his role is going to be in the offense because it was working so well for most of this year
Hmm.
before then that they list him, Sowers, McCardle, and Taylor at attack, and one of those guys is not coming out of the box unless you're just rotating attackmen. So
Right.
I think CJ did come out of the box a little bit. I think most of the time it was him coming out of the box. I think Jake Taylor might have been the other one. I don't know. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
happy
that's
if Philly keeps losing. I'm sure they're going to figure it out. All those guys are too talented, right? Like
yeah.
the 4 Tewaaraton winners in Denver, like a lot of them played at X, and Jared Bernhardt's now a great midfielder, and um, Wisnauskas and O'Neal play the same spot, but they figured that out too. So clearly it can be done. But
Yeah. It's hard when, we're halfway through the season already and the team's been working together and figuring out how they can, you know, optimize, but then he comes in, which we've been waiting for, but he comes in halfway through and now has to get, where does he fit?
yeah, yeah, it's really tough. Um, But I don't know, yeah, we're not a Philadelphia Water Dogs podcast. As long as they're playing a Western Conference team, I will definitely be rooting against them. I guess, yeah, I don't know. When they play the Atlas, I don't really have strong feelings about that either way. Who's the one seed and who's the two seed? Just as long as the Cannons are ahead of whoever's the other team is.
Yep.
The Whips, I guess, is really their only shot at this point. Um,
Hmm.
the first game of the weekend, like we said, TD has his best game of the year and maybe his best game as a pro. I mean, I know he's had games where he scored,
Hmm.
but let me look up what his face-off stats were before he had to leave. Yeah, it was 16 for 21, which is 76%.
Yeah.
And then Anthony Kelly had a great game. He was very upset um about some of the officiating. Like TD really got beat up, and then
Mm-hmm.
he leaves ultimately with a head injury. And uh, Kelly said in the press conference, the wind didn't rip his helmet off. That he really thought that there should have been a lot more calls against whether it was Baptiste or the guys in the wings. And yeah, I mean it's tough. You hope him and uh, Connor Kirst are healthy very quickly, just for
Yeah.
their own sakes, and obviously for the sake of their team as well. To they're tough guys to replace. Um,
Hmm.
and so like it was 10-10 at halftime, and then TD has to leave, and they just couldn't get it. Couldn't get it back. New York goes on a ultimately a 5 goal run in the third and fourth quarter. And I don't know, it's kind of the story of the Woods. It's not finishing games. That it's like whatever result they have in the fourth, they're gonna flip it. Like the two games they won, they were leading in the fourth or trailing in the fourth, and the five or four of the five games they've lost, they were leading in the fourth quarter. And that's tough to when it feels like that same thing is happening over and over.
Hmm.
Um, so New York is now comfortably atop the East with Philly losing. So they're 5-2, Philly's 4-3, and the Cannons and Whips are 3-4. Um, yeah. Uh,
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, we just gotta win.
yeah, absolutely. Um,
Um,
it's tough looking at, like, I looked at the standings. I knew the Cannons were going to be in last in the East, but they're fifth overall because
yeah.
they have better or better record than the Woods and still a better goal differential than the Chaos. And I think the Archers as well. Yeah, they must because they're the only Western Conference team ahead of them is the Outlaws. Um, so I mean that's tough to be fifth overall in the standings, but still not make
Hmm.
the playoffs. No, obviously still a long way to go, right? They just got to beat the Whips. Well, ideally they win the other two games as well, but uh, yeah, to see that is frustrating because you would assume if you're the last in the conference, then you'd be at the bottom of the regular the full league standings as well. But yeah,
Hmm.
so no champ series, you'd just miss out on that as of now. But
Yeah.
still quite a ways to go.
Yeah. Frustrating as it is, we are not out completely.
Yep.
We got a little bit to go. So, there is still a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just because we haven't mentioned it yet, we'll just say the last game of the weekend was Archers 12, Chaos 11. Turned into a great one. It was Utah started the game on yeah, it was 8-0 uh, Archers, and it was 9-5 at halftime. So I mean, the Chaos battled back. They just didn't quite have it.
Hmm.
Justin Inacio for them at the stripe has been a great turnaround. I think he's been above 50% in all of his games so far. Let me check what exactly he was at, but I think if Sisselberger had been healthy, who knows? Yeah, he was 60% today, or Saturday, Friday actually. Um, and yeah, he definitely got the better of Naso as well. Um, so Western
Hmm.
Conference game doesn't really impact. I will say as well though, Owen Hiltz 7 points now, 5 goals, 2 assists.
Hmm.
It's too soon to say whether he or Mackesy would have been the best choice, but I'd say he has definitely been the more impactful player in the games that he has played so far. which unfortunately includes that one against the Cannons. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, but it's always we know the thing is with that is like he is fitting like that on the chaos lineup, right? But who's to say
yeah,
with our lineup that we have, maybe it wouldn't have been the right fit.
yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think the a lot of the Canadian guys from that Chaos team are gone, but that still feels like a good part of their identity is that kind of style of play. And yeah, he just shoots the ball really well.
Yeah,
So props to him. I'm glad the Chaos team is not as bad as we maybe thought they were going to be preseason because it is, it's tough to watch. The guys go through that, their fans go through that. Uh,
yeah.
so sucks it's kind of happening to the Redwoods again. But
I mean, they're not the Cannons, but I think just like they've had a tough go
they have, yeah,
um in recent seasons. So I would, I love an underdog.
yeah. Or an under bear
But
anywhere.
yeah.
Um,
Yes. So, it'd be really nice, especially with the way that they started the season, to see them come back a little bit. Um, but
yeah, I kind of liked, when the two finalists from last year, the Whips and the Archers, were each last in their conferences. Like I don't want a three-peat. I certainly don't want the Whips to win another one. So I would love having a new champion. Obviously, I hope that's Boston.
yeah.
Um, don't want it to be Philly again. But any of those other three Western Conference teams, particularly the Redwoods, like whenever they win their first championship, because they will eventually, um,
Yeah.
that's going to be a really happy moment. Unless they beat the Cannons to get it.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
not
then
say
we're just gonna
that's
forget that we said this.
yeah, yeah. Um, all right. Um, any other thoughts?
No, I think as far as the games go, I think I'm good. What about
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Anything that you like can think of that you saw while you were there that we didn't talk about yet? Or that
Um,
maybe social media hasn't talked about?
I don't think so. I mean, I did just, it was the Indigenous Heritage Weekend, so wanna just promote that. Like learn about the Indigenous history of the game. If you don't, they had some people there to do like a land acknowledgement, and they had a lot of stuff in like on the video board between like commercial breaks between quarters, um, with players and experts talking about the Indigenous history of the game, and
Hmm.
that's something that I really want to learn more about for myself as well.
Yeah.
I wish we had more Indigenous players like active in the game right now. I know a lot of them have switched or play more of the indoor game.
Hmm.
But yeah, that was really cool. I did love all the jerseys. I will say I wish the Outlaws one was white instead of orange. I think that would have looked a little better on TV, and I think it would have looked better with that buffalo design. Um, but
Yeah.
oh well, they didn't ask me. And I still think they all look great. Like all these logos are just fantastic. And I think they should keep using them for a long, long time.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't think too much else. I mean, it's a cool venue. It's a good
Hmm.
size. Like they fill it up. Um, and people, I will say, I saw a lot of CJ Kirst jerseys, like a lot of CJ Kirst Indigenous jerseys. A lot of kids went to the merch tent and got their parents to get that for them. He was definitely the biggest selling jersey of the weekend. Um,
Wow.
and I don't know what the stats are, but he's probably up there on most sold jerseys of the year so far because I'm sure a bunch of people bought them, before like as soon as he was drafted, as soon as it was available, right? Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, yeah, I don't know. I would have loved. I was so sure we were going to see CJ Kerr's first goal, and that crowd would have erupted. Not to mention the whole Kerr family in the stands. So I'm sure we'll see that out in Salt Lake City this weekend, and now Colin and Connor, I'm sure, are gonna be there even though they're not playing. Yeah, all right. Bye week for the Cannons this week. They're not going to Utah this year, so we're obviously not gonna have a preview episode for you, but we're gonna do our best to get a player interview or two, or maybe Coach Holman come on again um, to give us something to talk about in the off season. Um, hopefully, yeah, just get the perspective of someone new on the team or return guests. We really don't discriminate. Anyone at the Cannons or the PLL in general really wants to talk to us, we're happy to talk to them. Um, yeah, I would say would have preferred they won that game, of course, but I feel as encouraged as I could have been after a loss, probably. So
Hmm.
I guess I'll take that. There's no moral victories don't count on the stat sheet, but that one it felt okay for a loss. But although again frustrating how it happened. That goal shouldn't have counted. We should still be playing overtime down there in Connecticut. But alas, yeah. So we'll
Hmm.
be back either this time next week or maybe we'll be back on Thursday depending on whatever guests' availability are. But until then, go Cannons.
Go Cannons. I do want to add one thing though.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Um, so I'm pretty sure that it's it was on social media, um, that we're gonna be having some guests at Dick's Sporting Goods
Oh, yes, yes.
tomorrow.
Thank you. Which is today as you're listening to this.
Correct, yes. So Monday, um, July 21st, I believe 5 to 7, right? Is it 5 to 7?
I think so.
Dick's Sporting Goods in Medford, Massachusetts. If you are around the Boston area, um, go stop by Dick's Sporting Goods and meet some of our Cannons players. There will be a few guests there. So go meet our guys and get some pictures, autographs. It's gonna be a great time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm gonna be able to go there. I'm hoping for it. So we'll yeah, hope to see quite the crowd. Hopefully
Yes.
it does well and cheer 'em on
There's a
and
huge parking lot. So
good.
if anybody listening to this has a car or has kids, you can drive there. It's not going to be in the middle of the city this time, so it's far easier to get to and you can park. So we hope to see you there.
Yeah, so we hope to see you at Dick's Sporting Goods in Medford, uh, greeting some of our Star Cannons players. And all right, until then, go Cannons.
Go Cannons.
Boo!
Boom.